أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Ask Allah Azza wa Jal to bless this gathering and to enable us to take the beneficial knowledge of what we talk about tonight and implement it into our lives. Allahumma ameen. Not last week, but the week before. I wasn't here last week. The week before last, we talked about tawadu', right? Humility or humbleness when dealing with people, right? This is all under the title of mastering manners, right? How we have adab and akhlaq with people, right? So the humility, and part of humility is accepting the truth no matter where it comes from. And we talked about the story of Umar radiallahu anh and the woman who opposed him in raising the dowry. And we also talked about Bilqis, right? Bilqis, and how Allah Azza wa Jal even agreed with Bilqis when He said, وَكَذَلِكَ يَفْعَلُونَ, right? When Allah Azza wa Jal is agreeing with Bilqis by saying, وَكَذَلِكَ يَفْعَلُونَ, right? That even Allah Azza wa Jal, He is al-haq, He is the truthful, and we implement this characteristic of Allah Azza wa Jal in ourselves, that we accept the truth no matter where it comes from, right? So long as it is the truth, it is the truth. And we need to accept humility in seeking the truth so that we do not become arrogant, because arrogance is rejection of truth, right? Batarul haqq, as we talked about. So one other aspect of humility or humbleness is of that of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, when he's telling us in a Hasan hadith, where he is saying, whoever humbles himself by a degree for Allah, glory be to him, Allah will raise him by a degree. And whoever is arrogant to Allah by a degree, Allah will lower him by a degree until he is made the lowest of the low. Right? So this is, again, the concept of humbleness when dealing with those around us. Right? That whoever is humble, Allah will raise him in status. Whoever is not and arrogant, Allah will lower him in status. Right? So today, what we will be talking about is the beautiful ayah, خُذِ الْعَفْوَ وَأْمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. Right? So we talked about humility, tawadu', last or the week before last. Today we'll be talking about this verse, and inshallah the next 3 weeks we'll be talking about just this one verse. خُذِ الْعَفْوَ وَأْمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. Right? خُذِ الْعَفْوَ is the first part that we will be talking about, and the first part of this ayah, خُذِ الْعَفْوَ, is to take that which is given freely. Take that which is given freely. So this is part of the manners, the akhlaq that we need or wish to implement into our lives. So take what is given freely. That is, leave off any expectations of the people and only take what they are willing to give you, whatever they give you that is free. So that may be in terms of respect, that may be in terms of kind words, that may be in terms of a gift, that may be in terms of a favor that someone does for you. So if someone does you a favor for free, or someone gives you a gift, that take what is given freely. Take what is given freely. And we see that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he accepted gifts no matter how low or big they were. Right? Where Aisha radiallahu anha, she is narrating to us, كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقبل الهدية ويثيب عليها. That Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to accept gifts and used to give something in return. Right? So this is part of the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that when you are given a gift, that you give something in return. You accept the gift that the person gives you and you give something in return. This is part of the sunnah. Now, if someone decides, right, not to give you something in return, right? That if someone gives you something in return, someone gives you a gift, you give them something in return. If you're not able to give them something in return, then at the very least you say, Jazakumullahu khairan. May Allah reward you that which is good, or may Allah reward you that which is better, right? Jazakumullahu khairan. Now, if someone gives you a gift and maybe, or you give someone a gift, but they don't give you a gift back, or maybe they don't even say Jazakumullahu khairan. Maybe they don't even say thank you, right? They don't follow the example of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What do we do in that case? Hit him in the face? No. Rather, we should not expect reward or thanks from someone else. Again, leave off expectations of the people. Leave off expectation of the people. If you are truly giving someone a gift, you are giving them that gift for the sake of Allah. If you are truly helping someone or giving them a favor or doing them a favor, you are doing it for the sake of Allah. And if you anticipate the reward from Allah, Allah will surely give you that reward. And if you anticipate the reward from the people, then you have lost the reward. right? إِنَّمَا نُطْعِمُكُمْ لِوَجْهِ اللَّهِ لَا نُرِيدُ مِنْكُمْ جَزَاءً وَلَا شُكُورًا. Right? As Allah mentions in the Quran, those who fear the hereafter, that when they give the people, right? When they feed the people, they say, we feed you only for the sake of Allah. We do not seek from you any reward nor any thanks. Again, implementing the value or the virtue that if you do what you do for the sake of Allah, you don't expect anything in return. If you give someone, you give them freely. If you decide to give them freely, and don't expect anything in return. Don't expect them to say thank you. Don't expect them to say, to give you something in return. Although this is the etiquette, right? Although this is the etiquette of the Muslim that we implement. But if it so happens to be that someone does not give you something in return, someone does not give you thanks, then no need, right? And so we need to make sure that we are implementing this into our lives. And so not to expect the reward from the people, not to expect the reward from the people. And if you do expect the reward from the people, that you have lost in the reward with Allah Azza wa Jal. And you may even become sinful if you remind others of your favors. You remind others of what you have given them freely. So maybe you did someone a favor, or you gave them a gift, or you bestowed you did something good for them, right? Now you go later on and you remind them of your favor. Then this is not by definition giving someone something freely, because what you expect something in return. And this in Arabic is called al-man, right? Al-man, right? To remind others of your favors, right? Allah Azza wa Jal, He says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe, La tubtilu sadaqatikum bil-manni wal-adha. O you who believe, do not waste your charity with reminders of your generosity or hurtful words, right? That when you give someone something freely, then you do not expect anything in return. You do not have a secret intention that you seek to remind that person of the favor that you did for them later on down the line, right? Because this is by definition not giving someone something freely. Okay, so this is part of learning adab, right? Part of knowing what adab is or akhlaq is knowing what not akhlaq is or what not adab is not, right? So this is what the do's and don'ts of adab, right? When we do something, do not expect someone to give something in return. So if you let someone borrow a car, you you did a favor to someone, you referred someone to your job, right? These are types of favors that we do for one another. The Prophet Muhammad, he tells us, لا يدخل الجنة المنان, that he who reminds others of his favors will not enter paradise, right? So this is a very big statement by the Prophet Muhammad that we need to implement and make sure that we do not fall into this trap of reminding other people of the favors that we do, right? Those who we remind others of their favors will not enter their paradise. So if you give a gift, do not expect something in return. If you do a favor for someone, for example, let's say your friend gets sick and you go and you take care of that friend, you drop something off for someone, now you get sick, don't expect that person to take care of you, right? Although you did that favor for that person, don't expect that person to do that same favor for you. خُذِ الْعَفْوَ, take what is given freely, right? Take what is given freely. Avoid changing your attitude even if that person decides to not do the same thing bad to you. So maybe we might have a change of attitude towards that person. We don't like that person as much, right? Treat them the same way you did as before. Treat them the same way as you did before. And this is obviously not an easy task, but this is the commandment of Allah when He tells us, خُذِ الْعَفْوَ وَأْمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. May Allah Azza wa Jal enable us to implement this virtue of this verse and implement it into our life. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين اللهم أحسن خلقنا كما أحسنت خلقنا رب اغفر لنا ذنوبنا ما قدمنا وما أخرنا وما أسررنا وما أعلنا وما أنت أعلم به منا اللهم إنا نسألك الفردوس الأعلى وما قرب إليها من قول أو عمل ونعوذ بك من عذاب النار وما قرب إليها من قول أو عمل اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Anything that I've said that is correct is from Allah and Allah alone. And anything that is said that is incorrect is from myself and from Shaitan. I ask Allah's forgiveness for me and for all of you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.